Sometimes photography is hard, and sometimes photography is pretty easy. This was definitely one of those times. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. The Gilli Islands are a collection of islands off the coast of Lombok in Indonesia, and they may now be one of my favourite places on earth. Combination of beautiful light, time, and probably being the most relaxed I've ever been for a week has led to some images that I will cherish forever. And it's probably led to a time when photography has been the most effortless it has ever been for me. I've always lived by the idea that your gear, the camera you use, the lenses you own, they're not the most important things in photography. It's definitely about the composition, the light, the subject matter. And this week in the Gilli Islands really kind of proves that theory to me. My camera gear for this trip has remained the same as it has for the kind of couple of weeks previously. That would be the Fujifilm X-T4, my trusty X-T4, the 18-55mm 2.8 and the 27mm 2.8 pancake lens from Fujifilm. Both considered to be relatively bad lenses by all accounts, and to be clear, these aren't my opinions. I really enjoyed using them this entire time, and the images they created, they definitely didn't get in the way and excel on this trip as well. And as well, my GoPro Hero 10 made an appearance, making its debut as a photography camera. Generally, I've only ever used it for the POV style videos you've seen on this channel, so using it as a photo camera was quite a novel experience for the first time, and it made its maiden voyage as an underwater camera as well on this trip, and that was really cool and fun. This video is mostly a reflection and a bit of a chat about how good light is, and the sunrises on Gilli Air did not disappoint. Waking up at 6 AM, walking all of about 50 feet from our accommodation to the beach, and getting to watch a sunrise like this over Mount Rinjani, it's something I'll be forever grateful for. 18-55mm proved to be such a useful focal range here, getting to isolate the fishermen on their boats, capture the details, but also the 18mm, the wide sort of vista that is the sunrise, the beach, Mount Rinjani, the people, the leading lines towards it. It was all incredibly beautiful. The colours stunning and very, very calming. In particular from this morning, these images using the seaside huts, these benches as leading lines towards the sunrise itself over the mountain range are just stunning, and out of a lovely, beautiful morning full of stunning images, these ones using the leading lines in the frame of this seaside hut to lead towards the rising sun over the mountains and over the sea is really, really pretty, and I'm a massive fan of it. Being by the sea is truly my happy place, and I think that translates into my photography. My favourite work is generally captured by the sea, and Gilli Air being all of something like 2 square kilometers. You're never really far away from the beach at any point on the island, and I love that. Naturally, this meant that I really enjoyed my photography during this week. Sunbeds by the beach and not wanting to move, having a zoom lens like the 18-55 really helps kind of zoom in, isolate, capture images from a bit further away. And while it may be some lazy photography from a physical movement perspective, they're not bad images, I don't think. They capture, there's some cool holiday snaps. Of our trip was actually this little guy called Squirtle. Well, we named him Squirtle. He was a little rescued sea turtle by the owner of the accommodation we were staying at, so we kept him in this little seawater filled pool in the hopes that when he got a bit older and a bit bigger, he could release him into the wild again, as the survival rate for young sea turtles is really small and this guy barely had a chance.
You saw a turtle? What? You saw a turtle?
One of the reasons we decided to stay on Gilli Islands was to do just that, to see some turtles. Well, just to snorkel really. In fact, most of the islands are surrounded by coral reefs, so being able to walk 30 seconds from where we're sleeping at night in the water and you're snorkeling around coral reefs, absolutely incredible. Such a cool place. But understandably, we thought the turtles were pretty damn cool and we tried to find them as much as we could. I'm not the very best at using my GoPro. I'm barely any good at using it for POV style videos. So using it for photography, filming underwater, was quite the learning curve, and I made plenty of mistakes during that. I was really impressed though with this. Some of these turtle images from a compositions perspective turned out pretty okay. Like there's a couple here that I really enjoy of these turtles and a Val as well. And I think I could have gotten better, but ultimately I didn't really know how to use this for photography and kept messing up, switching it to time lapse, changing it to video. I tried to get better. I was pretty impressed as well. I was pretty impressed with the performance of the GoPro. Images were decently sharp if they're centered at the right distance. The JPEGs were fun to edit. There was a lot of latitude in there, so I got images I wanted, and they were cool colors. Maybe not the most color accurate, but they're a vibe. Also, you can see here, there's the photos I took with the GoPro here. Of Val taking a photo of this turtle with the disposable underwater film camera. And here is the photo Val took. And I think that's quite the vibe. One of the coolest things I did on this trip though, and with the GoPro itself in terms of photography, was I took a boat tour out to Nusa Penida, which is actually just, again, off the coast of Lombok, a bit further away from the Gilli Islands. But I did that essentially to see manta rays. And that was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. cool piece of kit using underwater for photography. I could have used it better, especially with the manta rays. There was a lot less light than swimming near the surface in the coral reefs. These are a bit deeper, and I think I had this set to the lowest ISO. I just didn't really set it up properly, so some of them are a bit blurrier than I would have liked, but again, they're kind of a vibe. And I really enjoy some of these images from a photography perspective, but also from a memories perspective, because how cool are they? They're sick. Each evening, after having spent hours by the sea and in the sea, we'd be treated to the most incredible golden hour and sunset images and light, and yeah, we were just really, really lucky. I've had a bad streak, I think, the past year or two of going on holidays to sunny locations and just being rained on and rained on. So honestly, it was like you hit the jackpot with the light that we experienced. I think as well, the feeling that come across for me while watching these is how peaceful it was. Flat, calm water, beautiful light, not too busy. And I think that really translates into the images themselves. And even into the compositions, they're quite minimal, they're quiet, they're not too busy. They give me a kind of a serene atmosphere to them. And we were absolutely blessed with both the subject matter, the lighting conditions, the atmosphere, and the compositions, I think, lend themselves to that. Especially some of the more minimal ones, I love them. And while they might be stereotypical classic sunset images, I really do think they're great. And yeah, I'm gonna toot my own horn a bit. I really like some of these, especially these ones with the water and the subject matter. And yeah, as I said before, I really like photographing by the sea. Beautiful light, sunset conditions, where you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. this little tranquil piece of paradise, I'd go back there in a heartbeat. I remember at the time thinking this is beautiful and really enjoying it and feeling like I was present at the time on my holidays with Val, which is the important part. But the photography really, I think it really comes across in the images, and I felt really connected to them, and I feel really connected to them, you know? And when I look back at the footage as well, it is really a beautiful place, and yeah, I'm glad I didn't get in the way of that, essentially.
switch barracuda much well.
Photography is often a reflection of where you are, both mentally, physically, emotionally. And like any art form, that comes across in the work you create. And I think this week, it's truly just calm and peace and I guess happiness as well. I think sunshine for me and by the sea is happiness, and that I really like how that's come across in these images. I'm really proud of a lot of them, and they're beautiful because the place is beautiful. And I think that harks back to my point earlier, was that it didn't matter what camera gear or lens you had on you, the composition, the light, the subject matter is so beautiful that that's the important bit. And also just another shout out to the GoPro, because they're really cool images. Really, really, really cool. This trip definitely made me want to become an underwater photographer. It's not realistic, but it really, really did. As always, folks, thank you so much for watching the video, taking the time out of your day to spend with me here on YouTube. I really appreciate it. If you've ever been to the Gilli Islands or anywhere similar in Indonesia, let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any more recommendations for islands like this, if you got any GoPro photography tips as well, I'd love that. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to get better at, I think, in the future. As always, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below. Like and share the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day.